18-inch wreath base today. And we're going to use a bunny head, a little bit different color this time. This is going to be the green version of it. And of course, we're going to have roller coaster ribbon. So what I'm thinking is we're going to be putting the bunny over here, and we're going to work a big bow here. So we're going to work opposite. So if you prefer, you can always have the bunny here and the bow here. All right, this is always my go-to spot, but you can do either one. So I'm going to work opposite. Now my florals, I'm going to use, I have the Perfect here. I have these greeneries here that have a mix of like the frosted kind of greenery that's got the fuzzy part. So it's like a lamb's ear. It's not like for Christmas or anything, but it's a type of foliage that plants have. So it adds a little bit of lighter color, which works good with that muslin fabric on the bunny's head. And then this is perfect. I've got the green, but I've got a little teal. So when I know I'm going to go a different direction than the main color of the attachment, I got to pull that color in the ribbon. So we're using roller coaster ribbon. We're going to be able to pull that teal in. And then I got a little bit of fishtail just to add a little wispiness. But let me show you the ribbons, because they're going to be the star of our show. Look how perfect this is. I'm going to use burlap because the bunny had the burlap. And then I'm going to use this teal because I got the teal flower, right? Then a little green because the bunny's got the green on the outline. This is a check, which goes perfect with anything rustic. And then this one's so cute. This is that wired with the teal and the green. So when I bring all that together, that's going to work really well. Okay? So we're going to do that first. I'm going to put you guys down on the camera, and we're going to tie our bow first. We'll see how this puppy comes together. I need to get my bow maker. All right, here we go. So remember the bow on our bunny has burlap. So I want to bring a little burlap in. Plus this will work really good in our roller coaster ribbon. So I'm going to pull that in first in the background. We're going to make a funky bow. So you know what? I am probably not going to dovetail. We're just going to angle cut it. Come to the center and twist. Now my little dowels are popping out a little. I'm going to just hammer them in. Pardon me, it's going to be loud. Yeah, so Honey Bunny's going to Canada next week. It's going to freeze. That means I got to deal with all these plants. And we got volleyball tournament. Yay, fun times. And she's got games. Oh my goodness, we got this. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger than 6. I like 6.5 or almost 7, you know. Let's go with that. And I'm going to twist. All right, I went almost to 7. I went 6 3/4. Then I twist. I'm going to fluff it out. I need to make sure I leave plenty because I've got to have, I need enough for my roller coaster. So I don't want to go crazy because I only have one roll of this here. And I'm going to go at 8 inches. Cut that at an angle. Isn't that perfect? Okay, we got a great start. Now I'm going to come in with, see the blue and the teal? I like to take and I need to separate those. So let's come down with this first. And I'm making that decision because this is smaller. Now, this looks really cute in the background too. But in this case, I'm going to layer this one down. Then we're going to come with the green, then this one, okay? That's my plan, Stan. And I'm going to cut this one the opposite direction. And we'll put that one over here on the left side. So you guys are staying warm. I know it happens every year, but I hate winter. Is there any other people who hate winter? I know last time I asked, there are people who like winter, and I was praying for you guys. But wow, does anybody not like summer? Maybe I should ask it that way. Okay, I'm going a little shorter at 6 inches. And we're going to do, maybe we're going to do one loop. We're going to kind of layer this up. So let me just scrunch this side. I'll cut that at an angle. All right, let's come in with the check. And so this is the actual color on the bunny. So we want to make sure we got plenty of the green on there. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit more. Yeah, I guess because I'm not sure why our mosquitoes haven't been that bad in a while. Now it's going to freeze. It's really going to knock them down. Not complaining too much. I don't love humidity, but I don't know. We have air conditioners. That's probably what you guys say about heaters. Okay, this is at 6. I'm going to stay about a little bit shorter than my blue one, okay? It's kind of eyeballing it here. All right, let's come on this side. I'm going to do 2 of these because now I want to bring the green in. Remember I was telling y'all the other day, I was picking my university. I was eliminating universities like, nope, nada, not interested. I would ask my mom, is it cold there? She'd be like, yes, it's cold there. Okay, never mind. Not going. Poor. I'll just stay right here. All right, now let's bring in our next one, which is going to be our little green and teal. I love that. Let's do 3 loops of this one. I think it would be fun to have 3. When I was a kid, believe me, I'd be like praying for snow for Christmas and all that stuff. Now I'm like, oh, we got a picture when Kaya was little with snow. We're good. We're good. I was like, I went one time with Richard we were just in Toronto for a December, which we didn't go up there very much for Christmas because Richard's dad, most of our marriage, went to Mexico for the summers. Once his mom passed away and he remarried, and they just were summering down. As soon as they got past the New Year, they were going to come down here on their way to Mexico. So no, that sounds great. But we had to go up there for a wedding, and I was like, if this car breaks down, I am going to be the first to die because I don't have proper clothing. I don't own anything that would work. And I'm not buying anything because we have some days of winter, but like, it's not that many. It's not that many. I'm not investing in all those things. Y'all should have seen me. I used to do a show in Oklahoma in February, and it would always be brutal. It'd just be, woo, brutal. Let me bring a little more burlap to the front. We're going to finish off the bow with a touch of that burlap in the front. It would just be, horrible. And I wasn't going to buy, those girls had them cool cuddle duds. And I don't even know if they still make those. They kind of look like overalls or like a skiing bib, but they zipped up for winter. And those were like, ooh, that looks cool. But, they were kind of expensive. I'm sure they were worth it, but expensive. See how I did that a little shorter? We want to layer that in, okay? And here was me. I just had layer after layer. I'm kidding you not. I would put, leggings. I had also, what do you call the things you wear in the winter? We used to call them thermals, maybe? We had those. Because I had polypropylene ones for backpacking. Because I was in Girl Scouts backpacking back in the day. I wore those. And then I had leggings. Oh my gosh. I just had layer after layer after layer. So once we got in the building and they closed the doors, I start stripping those layers off. And we joke around because I would wear these big jackets I had got in Walmart. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to end with a little green in the center would work fine. I think that would do us. I think we'll be good right there and stop with our bow there. Well, Marley's my niece, guys. She goes to school in Colorado. So she drove here for Christmas, been here. She did a trip with one of her friends to Gatlinburg, and they had so much fun. And then she was here for Christmas, and so she drove back a few days ago to Greeley, which is outside Denver, about an hour. I don't know which direction, but anyway, she got back, and now mom and dad are always watching, of course, where she's at, what's going on, and it's going to be like negative there for a few days, and dad's like, I hope the car can make it. It's like, that car, I don't know if it's made for that cold, right? Hopefully it can. She's had it serviced there a couple of times, so hopefully it has all the right fluids. Yikes. We're just trying to keep our cars running lately. Y'all know how hard it is when you have to get a new car repair place? The place we've gone to for years, unfortunately, the owner passed away, and it's just been a little bit crazy since he passed. We're trying to give him a chance, but we're not that impressed. You know what I mean? So we're having to try a new place. Okay, I'm going to put the green down the middle, so I'm going to fold it like I normally do, and we're going to put a couple of knots in the back. And that looks pretty darn cute. I think it's going to look cute with our daisies and our cute little bunny. All right, our next step is going to be to put the ribbon in, so I'm going to move the camera up in just a second. My fingers are like, it's cold. How am I supposed to work out here? All right, let me bring the camera up. So the start of this right now, we've got Mr. Bunny. I think it's going to work out good. This is kind of, I'm pulling in the teal because I wanted to have like this fun festive look that wasn't pink. Just because some people don't want to do pink because, you know, that's all that's out there sometimes for Easter with the pastellies. And I thought if you're a mom of boys, maybe you want something a little bit more bolder but cutesy too. So I was trying to have some options. So I think the bow is going to go right here and the bunny's going to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in first. So this has a big long hanger that comes on that. I'm going to cut that off first. And then you're able to kind of grab behind those wires on it. It's got some wires that come into the head from the ears. So that's kind of cool. The ears are wired so you can play with them. I love that. Let me tie a little knot with the hanger just to get it out of the picture kind of to the back. All right, now get your awl and start with that. So I'm going to punch this in and go behind the wire. You don't want to punch through his forehead though, because you can't really, he'll have to have a bow on his forehead if you do that. I'm doing some surgery right now. All right, so I kind of make my hole there with an awl. And then I'm going to try to come back. I'm going to hold that spot and try to come back with a cable tie. May not work at all, but we're going to try. And it also may work the very first try. Boom! Because that's how it's done, bunny. So satisfying when you get it through quickly. Especially when you're on camera, y'all. Okay, let me get bunny in here. I'm trying to. There's wire cutters. Isn't that the way you have 15 pairs of wire cutters, but when you need one, you cannot find it? And I can't even blame my family this time. It's me. Okay, I just kicked those ears out a little bit. That's so cute. All right, now I'm going to come in with my bow next. We're going to go ahead and get that in because then I'm going to figure out my ribbon from there. I think it'd be really cute. You could have it like this. If we did it this way, then the ribbon tails could kind of start from right under the base right here and come out from the bow and come down. And then we could have enough room for one roller coaster up here. Just use your fingers. Like I could do 1, 2 here, and I can probably get 1 there. Okay, and then the tail pop out above the head. So let's do that. Okay, I'm going to come up and down. How about right in here? I think that'll work. Then we can roller coaster it from there on out. Roller coaster. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do if it's negative degrees. It's only going to be 20 some. I know I'm a whiny, but it's hard to wear flip-flops when it's 20. People judge you a little. Even though I don't care. You're getting the looks, you know. Like, what? Because people here want to wear Uggs and stuff. And I'm like, y'all, we can't be wearing Uggs. What? My feet will start sweating the minute I put that on. Ugh. There's a time and a place for Uggs, and it's not Houston, Texas. Unless you're going to be outside. Okay. So I went up and down with the bow a little bit different, but I think that'll be kind of fun. Bringing the tails out from under there. All right, now, let's grab these. Here we go. So we're going to have these with the burlap too. All right, here I got the burlap started. Then I'm going to layer the check on top. Let me see what we're going to do with the others. We might just not use this one and just stick with this as our third on top. I think that's what we'll do. We'll do these 3. Okay, I think I'm going to have the tail kind of start. I was thinking it'd be kind of cute if it would come out from underneath him. Okay, and then work up to here. I'm going to try for that. So let's pin this under his chin. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Let me just make sure I've got plenty of this burlap. I think we're going to be okay on burlap. Hopefully we have enough. I'm a little paranoid. So you kind of have to plan out your tails ahead of time. And even though when you use more ribbon, it can be less expensive, it can be a little more time consuming to create the design. But not after you do it a little bit in practice. So we're going to start coming from under the little neck. That's super cute. Now, and I could change this out too if I wanted to and make it all different. I could definitely do that on his neck, but I kind of like it being different. So that different layers kind of line up there. All right. Now we're going to start our first roller coaster. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to measure out. And if I stick with that, then my next one would be right. He would finish right here. So I would like to maybe come out just a little bit more. Right here. And that would get me closer to the base of the bow. And I like that a little bit better. So we're going to bring this in. Now, you have to make these a little higher than you think because we've got florals, we've got greenery to put in there. So this feels comfortable if the design was already done. So I'm going to go a little bit out of my comfort zone, measure with my fingers, decide where that is. Okay, and that's fully extended out. It's got to be a little bit bigger because we're putting the ribbon first. So I went with a full hang 10. Now you'll have to measure and eyeball yours too, but just use your hands. Like, okay, to there, to there, to there, to there. That's pretty consistent. They won't be perfect, but it helps you have some consistency. And I'm kind of coming down because my next one I can come up or I can come up and come out. I can do either one or I can stay right in the middle. Either way is fine. I think I'm going to stick with my first instinct to go down. Cable tying that down. I'm using brown cable ties here so they kind of hide. If we do see them later, we'll cover them with some moss. All right, I still haven't cut my ribbon yet. Another cute look though, and we can work on this later in the month too, is I can do some cuts on the ribbon. So we'll do that later in the month so you can see how roller coasters work with cuts. We can break it down to the nitty-gritty. Alrighty. Now let's have this one kind of come up higher. And if that one's about there, and this one's going to come to about here, it's got to be a little bit higher. I'm going to just do it eyeball first, then I'm going to come back with my fingers. Something like that. Let's see. It's a little bit longer. Higher. Higher. Be a little bit higher, I think. Cute already. Okay. Gather it up. Something about how cute these lines are going. I love that. And remember, you're going to have florals tucked in and greenery and all that. So all this mechanics is going to hide. Oh, I pulled the green a little too tight. Say, come on out, green. There we go. And it's okay if they don't layer exactly. If you do want this to be like a layered look, you can run a little glue down the middle even before you start doing this. But I like for it to be moving around on you. Okay. Now we're going to cut our tail. I don't think it needs to be too long. Just kind of popping out from here. Let's do it like about this. About 8 inches. Okay. First step going in. Okay. That's our first roller coaster in. Bada boom, bada bing. Now we're going to the top. Now I noticed I've only attached that to one little bitty grapevine. So that's a fail. I'm going to come back. I'm just put another cable tie over that to more. I don't know why I did that. Now I feel comfortable. Because one grapevine is going to pull. Because somebody is going to end up picking this up by the ribbon. All right, let's go to the top and let's get us one nice roller coaster to the top. I'm going to cut these at this angle, I think. No, at this angle. So it comes down over the ear. If I don't do it for lunch, maybe we do it for supper. What's one of your go-to cold winter meals that everybody loves? I did make those sliders that you make with the Hawaiian rolls. Those are such a big hit with Kaya. She loves those. All right. So if we put a roller coaster that went from here to here, that'd be fine, right? And then it could tuck back in kind of behind here, or I could have a tail to tail. So I think I'm going to start right behind that ear. Because we're definitely going to have some floral up by the ears. So that tail's a little bit longer. I'm going to go probably 10 inches or so. Oh, good. I'm going to have just enough of this ribbon. Hallelujah. Perfect. When you use all the ribbon, yet you don't run out. That is satisfying. All right. How about like right here? And then I should have enough. Oh, I gotta cut this. What if we had this go? Maybe like right here. That would work. I'm just making sure I've got enough length here to do it. Tie this in. I'll put you in there, buddy. Pull it tight. All right. Now we're going to come around. I'm going to go ahead and cut my pieces so I can manipulate this better for the camera. This is cute. I mean, it's really let me establish my color palette with just ribbon. I love that. All right, and let's come up above. I do a lot of lining it up. Let me see if that would work. So down here, they're about that tall. Just a little bit taller. I'm going to go down just a little bit. Okay. All right. So I'm good right here. And then you could make another loop that kind of goes behind the bow, or you can just trim it off here and let the tails pop out. They'll just look like part of the bow. I need to go just a little bit higher than I did in the bottom because I got an ear to work with here. I think that would be fine. And it's not glued or anything, so if it ends up not looking exactly how you want it to, you could come in and change it or tighten it up. It's not really a big deal because you didn't put glue on anything. All right, here's my last tail over here. And I will want it to pop out this way behind the bow. Should be really cute. So I'm going to trim it and have it go probably. I'm going to have this one's cut this way. I'm going to cut the same way and have it go back here. All right, so we're good. Like our base is all done. That's a little time consuming, but that's finished. And now I'm going to trim off the cable ties. Let's do it. 1 and 2. And okay. All right, does everybody feel comfortable doing that? I know it's a few steps, but you really get a kind of a nice look. And when you're not trying, you can go a little faster when you're not trying to make it for the camera to be able to see it. All right, and we're going to work with the top one up there when we get some florals around it. It's covering your ear right now, but it'll be coming down. All right, let's come in now. I'm going to start with a little bit of our greenery. So I'm going to take our greenery stem here. It's got all kinds of different greeneries. We're going to break one down and start to put our placement in around our curls. With this one, I am going to take and go ahead and just tear it down. If it'll tear, let's see. I think it tears. And then we'll start using these individually. Kind of making our own little clusters. All right, so let's take our first piece here. I'm going to start with above the bow. Our transitions are going to work like this. If I'm above the bow, I'm going to be going to the right. If I'm below the bow, I'm going to be going to the left. I built the roller coasters back to the bow, but the greenery is going to go from the bow out, okay? So that is a little bit different than I normally would do. But we want our eye to work from the bow out, okay? So it's going to go right in here. Start layering these in. Perfection. Now I'm going to cluster these up to make my own little cluster. So I'm going to take like a little green on top of the fern. with a little bit of dark green. And because these have wires, you can literally just twist them together. You don't have to go crazy. You can use a pick machine if you want, but I just twist and then trim to save time. And then you get the glue on there and you're ready to go. So that's my first one going up. Now this one's going to come down. If you can see that glue, just cover it with Spanish moss. But I started off by going where the greenery is going to hit, right where a roller coaster comes in. Okay, so my next greenery is going to go right through here. And we're going to start to fill up the base with all these pretty mixed greens. So when you buy a mixed stem, the nice thing is I can go, so many directions with it. I'll rotate that forward. You got to make sure they're facing forward. Got to shake hands like crazy. All right. Okay, this one's going to go right here. Let's get that sliding in and just come right over. Now I'm going to go in there with a little moss this time. That glue is showing. And then come underneath. Alright, let's put another piece at the top. I'm going to cut another one down. And this time I'm going to take and cut the top part. Instead of tearing it, I need a couple of little longer pieces, so we'll cut it. But I hope y'all are having fun and you're getting to create some, even though it's cold. All right, let's come down here. And I'm going to have this one still kind of come at the angle, but bring it over. Let's go down here. I hope you are. I hope you are excited to create something. Isn't that what it's all about? You watch a video and you're like, yes, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go use that roller coaster ribbon. All right, now let's go back at the top. It will come together. We hope. That's the plan. I'm going to bring a little leaf in front of the ear. Get that loop up. Let's bring these ears forward. This bow fluffed back up. Look at this here. I think we've done a pretty good job with our basic greenery. I'd like one more piece here and a little bit to the inside. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I have one more. Perfect. And then we're going to start to bring in our floral. I like to use the florals a little bit tighter to the base, but this is shaping it out nicely for us so far. I need a little behind the bow, so I'm thinking let's go a little bit shorter right here. Trim that out. Alright. I like that this has like a lemon leaf, and then it's got an ivy and all that fun mixed in. All the textures. I'm still going to go up because it's above the bow. Pull it out just a little bit so it reaches out. I got a little bit of a ribbon tail here I want to show. So I'll just mix that in between my greenery. And then my bow. There you go. So this is one of the reasons I generally don't put bows onto the end, because you're having to fluff and refluff, but when you're doing the roller coaster ribbon, just sometimes it's easier to get that in first. Otherwise, then you're fighting around everything else to get your ribbon in. So it's, either way is fine. Whatever battle you want to fight. All right, I'm going to use one more piece kind of coming up in the top right there. So right now I'm just looking at my shape. For my whole wreath, I'm seeing how it's laying out here. If it's above the bow, it's going up. If it's down below the bow, it's going down. And I'm going to tuck this under. Okay. And now a little bit back here. So the way we have this, you could even not use the daisies too if you're not a daisy fan. If you just want to go straight into creating just with the ribbon, you don't have to have the daisies in there. They're coming next. They're coming up next. And I'm curious to see how we're going to cluster them. All right, get my fern laid out here. Okay. I like these little off-white berries too that are in there. Those are fun. Okay, I'm glad we left that pretty long. So far we got a kind of good movement going on. We got a ribbon going. Now you can see it popping out, but you don't really see where it's connecting. That's our look we're going for. All right, now let's come in with our daisies. So these are going to add the whimsical fun. They're with the 3 colors that we have been using. Should pull the whole design together. So I am not loving the leaves, which is typical for any less expensive bush. I'm generally not going to love the leaves. But I do want that pretty floral head, so I'm going to pull those down. But that's one of the reasons they can keep these bushes less expensive, is there's not a lot of money in the fabric of the leaves and stuff like that. So pull these down. And we're going to start to create some little clusters that we're going to put in to this design. We can do it one of 2 ways. We can make clusters that have every color, or we can make clusters that are just 1 or 2 colors. We'll play with it a couple of different ways and see what we like best. But here is our first one. Cut them pretty long because you need to have length to get. Now we're trying to get out from, we're trying to get behind greenery, and we're trying to get with the ribbon, so we don't come too short. Coming up. I'm just nipping them. And then if you want, keep the greenery on the bush, because if you need to fill up something really quick with some cheap greenery for something, don't pull these all off until you know for sure you're going to use them as leaves, because they store a lot better like this. And then if you need to stick them as a filler, like a pot, something you're doing at your front door, and you want to just stick, you could just stick these in and then have the pretty stuff on top. But it's like cheap moss, so hold on to it on the stem. All right. So if I just bring in the teal and white, and I just do little clusters like this, and I do let's tuck that in. And then I do green and white. And we bring that in. That's how that will look. Okay. Which is really cute too. And we'll just have to watch where we put the teal, because the teal is going to pop the most in the design. All right. So, or if I go teal, green, white in every one. So I know the teal is going to pop the most. So I have to think about exactly where I'm putting them if I leave them like this. So let's see if I like that. I have a feeling I'm going to like the other better. My God, something about daisies and bunnies is so cute. So if you ended up putting teal in each one, and every cluster had teal, would I like that? Let me take a look. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with it, because we can kind of rotate the teal where it's not on the same side of each cluster. Cute. Okay, we're going to do that. So I'm going to need both bushes, because I'm going to really jam a lot of these in there. Jam in a nice way. Put a lot of them in there. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, something about just going classic with little bunnies is so cute. All right, let's do the same thing with this bush. I have 2 bushes. I gotta do this and pull these down. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun working in this color combo. I like that it's a little bit different, but it would look cute with a lot of people's houses. Look good on a black door. That shark, whatever that green is called. I'm calling it the wrong color, I think. That bright green. I'm a fan of that. Ooh, yeah. Fuchsia's pink, right? So chartreuse, is that green? Am I on the right path? Sometimes I'm thinking, am I making that up? Is that right? Okay, let's trim these off. I'm just trimming these off the bush. Giving this bush a trim. Okay. And then I'm going to save that for later. Alrighty, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm going one of each color every time. And sometimes just take the head. I don't usually get out the steamer to steam heads. You can. But I just try to flatten in my hand and just kind of push on it. And usually it's going to be fine. Okay. I'm going to take a green, a white, and a teal. We're going to make a nice little cluster. I'm not going to make them like a pom-pom. I'm going to make them just like a little bit, you know, a couple of high, a low. Something like that, okay? Spread them out a little bit. And now we're going to go ahead and trim these where they're even. And then I'll put some glue on them and we're going to go into our piece. So anytime you're using multiple stems, make sure you're using adequate glue because we want to make sure the glue is getting all the stems. Let's start off here. We'll start out right at Bunny's neck. And in this case, I'm going to kind of have this kind of come down from the neck because it's tucking in under here. And it's not going to follow all the direction rules that are coming over there. Those are coming in a second, okay? This is just like his embellishment at his neck. His ribbons come down from there right here, and we're good to go. All right. And now we're going to continue with our other rules over there. Let me get your little teal one out, baby. There we go. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to keep it kind of right top when I put it all together. And maybe we'll let it be the tallest. Cutie patootie. All right. So we're going to come in up here. Tuck that right in. I'll take and rotate it a little. That's pretty dang cute. And I'm going to put a little Spanish moss on that one. This time I'm putting it on there to make sure it's holding. It's going into kind of a wider gap back here. So I really don't need to worry about it showing. I want to make sure it's holding in there. And you can bend those. All right, and then one more cluster down here. So 1, 2, 3 at the bottom. This is so fun. I love doing some, you know, different colors. I do love green, though. I like finding any excuse to use bright greens. All right, let's go to the bottom. This one I cut just a little bit longer so I have room to tuck it in there. And we're going to go right above the ribbon. Get on in there, baby. There we go. Ooh, cute. All right. Putting a little Spanish moss on it. All right, now let's start working above. We've got 1, 2, 3 clusters here. So I'd like to try to get at least 2 up here. The first one we're going to do is right above his ears because that's just a natural, adorable place to put it. So let's put, let's work opposite this cluster. So I'll put teal and then I will put green next to the forehead. And then we will put white top left. Okay. So I'm paying attention to my little clusters I'm putting in. Okay, so this is what's going to kind of look above the forehead. Okay, so I'm going to trim those where they're even. And we're going to go in right above. Let's do this. Excuse me, Mr. Bunny. Just going to hurt for a second. We're going to pierce your head now. So we want that, and then that. Oh, that's perfect. I'm going to bring it down just a little. Just a little. Right there. Let me get a little Spanish moss here. And I'm using that to secure those stems and to hide the glue over here on the side. All right. Now our next one, I'd like to be like right here at this edge of the roller coaster. So you see anytime there's a connection point on the roller coaster, that's where these flowers are going. Okay, so keep these longer. So you're going to have to go through your stash of cuts and make sure you get the longest ones you got. Which is right here. I got the longest of everybody, I think. All right. I'm going to poof out this head a little. Something like that, I think, would go good. This time I'm letting the white be on top. So I'm going to trim them till they're equal. Loading up with glue. Going right in here. Okay, so I'm still working kind of the angle of coming from this direction. So the only places we cheated with the different flow is at the bunny, okay, because he's his own thing. This is his own transition point, down and up. Up here, we have to follow the rules of the bow. So we're going up from here. All right, get in there with you, buddy. You cutie patootie. Need a little Spanish moss in there. Once the glue sets up too, you can come back and separate them a little. I like to give them kind of their own little space so they don't look too pom-pommy. But that's cute too. All right. Now we have a few blooms left. I think we're going to stop with that. Now we need to kind of take it from this compact look that we've got going. And I want to add a little wispiness. There's nothing wrong with how it looks. It looks adorable like this. But I want to add a little bit of wispiness, so I want to come in with a little bit of fishtail. So I'm going to use it kind of like a twig. It will need to be wispy and long, but I don't need any wispiness down here. You're not going to see that. So take and push up these stems, okay? But cut them really long still, okay? That's our trick here. Pushing them up, but we're not cutting them short. We're cutting them long. We're just going to use one bush for this. We're not going to go crazy. But it's going to help us with our little bit of adding that, you know, wispy feel. And we created this color scheme just with that ribbon. Remember, the bunny gave us the green, which if you're not comfortable with doing the green and teal, this would be really cute. You could use the green with pink. And I'm sure I've got some cute ribbon for that too. So you definitely could use that green with different options. The bunny also comes in purple, so you could, if you wanted to do purple, it'd be just really cute combos you could do. So when you cut that off, you've got all these weird looking spiky pieces, but that's what we want, okay? Especially to start around the perimeter. I think we have 7 pieces on here, so that gives me, I'd like to use 2 up here and 3 at the bottom, okay? So let's just start with them by putting them in. I'm going to give it a swirl. I'm going to start with one right up here, kind of coming out above her head, just a little wispiness right here. Now, because it's a single stem, if you feel it go in lightly, you're going to need to come back with moss and just gently place it in there. You're kind of sandwiching it in. Usually I like to use fishtail in more than one. That's the reason why, because it gets in there tighter. Okay, so there's one. Let's put number 2. Let me bring that up a little bit. You need to come up here. There you go. We're going to put number 2 right here coming out of the bow. And if you like this look, you could increase to 2 bushes of this and really use more of it. But I'm trying to keep it pretty simple. There you go. All right. Then I'm going to use one kind of into the bow a little bit coming down, so it doesn't need to be quite as long. I took a couple of inches off the stem. And I'll tuck this one in here. And notice I changed direction, so we're coming down. I love that. Yeah, I like when we get that little bit of movement in. All right, now I'm going to come to the center, because then my last piece can be continuing with this. So I need to come zigzag, all right, to the center. Cut it a little bit shorter. And then after this, we're just going to do a little bit of detail work up on Bunny. After I get these in. Now that I felt go to the back, so I'm going to re-angle it. We don't want it shooting out the back. That's like rookie. As we get better, we want to re-angle it and make sure we're coming in. If it goes in real easy, you know it went. It's either not going to hold or it went to the back. You want it to go into the grapevine every time. All right, and this one's going to come down right here. Here comes one more piece. Now this one I'm going to just finish up kind of coming over the bunny. And then I have enough to put one more at the top. Okay? And then we're going to do that detail work with some of these little fern pieces that I have left. I don't like there to ever be pieces left over unless it's enough or I'm mass producing something. If there's a few pieces left over, we're going to use them on the piece, because what ends up happening is you just get a pile of stuff you never use. You have good intentions of using it, but it just doesn't get used. So I generally am trying to use up the pieces. Now see how this ribbon just looks like it's flowing through the garden? I love that look. Love, love, love it. All right, that last piece of fishtail, I had enough. I'm going to use one more up here, kind of coming over, but more to the foreground. Right there. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to do a little detail work in by the head and by the bow, and I don't have a whole lot left, but I've got two bigger pieces of fern and a little bit of berry. So I am going to steal like a little bit of this fern, I think right here. I'm going to take a little piece of this off of that piece. So I stole a little piece there, steal a little piece down here. Don't be afraid to steal pieces from stuff that's not really going to show. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and we're going to put it in by the head. Right here, because I want to soften this little line up here where these flowers are coming from. I'm just put a little greenery up here. It's kind of underneath. Can't see it a whole lot probably from the camera, but it's kind of coming right here. There we go. A little bit there. And then I was thinking about taking a little bit of this fern and backfilling in the background right here and here on the inside with that. Just to kind of fill out the shape in the middle. I'll go right here. Yeah. So this one I'm going to use in the opposite spot right here. Kind of right here. I'm going to tuck that in right coming down here by the little head. Perfect. Y'all, this is turning out adorable. I've got one little curly piece left. Now we've got a curly here. I've got a curly here. And here. So I think right up here would be a natural opening for it to go in. It has a nice long stem. So I'm going to put it up there. Okay. I hope today's video is going to help you start to kind of embrace the roller coaster ribbon and try it in some of your pieces. When you use it on a grapevine, just know that it is a little more tedious because you have to tie each piece in. But if you use it on a pine wreath, like a Christmas base, then it's a little faster to just twist it in with the pine tines. Goes a little quicker. But there she is. I think she turned out really beautiful.